Order of the Garter sprints clear though with 50 metres to go, and Order of the Garter driven out one.
Akasaki, Burning Crown's closing. Akasaki at the front. Burning Crown can't bridge him back. Akasaki wins again.
Better than best from the Shiny Mist and Dash for Drans and also Selbris. Big go here in race one. In front though is Better Than Best and gets home.
And now Probabile is edging clear. Goes on to win the Bill Ritchie by a length to Cuba. Brandon Berg won the battle for third.
Please be advised that the following presentation may offend or upset some viewers. Breeders, corporate bookies, stewards, racing participants, jockeys, trainers, racing media, and non-bettors should be advised. Nothing on this show should be taken seriously other than the betting advice provided. This message was approved by the MailBag.com.au. By viewing this show, you lose all rights to complain and or sue. Please enjoy this show. I was pretty impressed with that. Not too bad.
Good effort.
Yeah, for the first crack, and considering I have difficulties reading at the best of times. G'day, punters. Welcome to the Mailbag Live, powered by puntingform.com.au, the #1 sectional database and form guide for racing. And we are hydrated by Mountain Goat Lager, as always, although I don't have one. Dickens has got a couple, and Shane Ciurleo has a clear liquid in a bottle.
I've got a Gordon's Gin. Good evening to everyone at Gordon's Gin. I'm looking for some sponsorship.
We'll see how we go with that. Look, you can get involved at home as well. We're using the hashtag TMB Live, the Mailbag Live. If you've got any questions, if you want to spray us, if you want to praise us, we've had a pretty reasonable week in the video here tonight. I haven't, but Dickens is coming off a nice little bet there to end the card at Sale. And Curls, you've found a few little bits and pieces to get involved with throughout the day as well, haven't you?
Good chat.
Yeah, we bet
off the bat too. Well done.
We found a bet off the change of tactics. We backed a horse at 30-1 that said they would lead, and it sat second last and ran accordingly. That was
I just saw the text come through with the word cotton it, and I assumed that meant it was supposed to roll forward. Then I was watching and I thought that's second last. Surely Kells wasn't looking for them to not show intent.
Yeah.
It is Queensland. Yeah, exactly. It's Queensland.
Well, we did back a horse today in race 2 at Sale, which led and pissed in 2 jump outs, beating like just relentless winners in both jump outs. And Liam Reardon, was it Liam?
Yeah.
Limited.
Wide gate means go back. I mean,
it's still almost won.
Yeah, and that was after racing several times in Hong Kong and doing basically zero. So Hickmott's got the best out of whatever that thing's called. I think it had a name change.
Billy Assange. Just before we start, though, I just do want to say I've spent the whole day dadding. Limited amount of work done. If I get a race wrong, I know the horses I like and etc., but I might get a few references off or something. Don't jump down my throat. I'm doing my best. Yeah. It's been a hard day.
You're rattled. Look, we'll start with the mail is, and the mail is, Dicko, you're going to have to get yourself together because you're doing a little bit of Friday night lights tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, almost got on track, which was like the big sort of pull for me. But we'll be next to G Hall on RSN. I think it's on the app. You know, download the app. I'll pump it on Twitter tomorrow, however it's going to work. But pretty excited. I don't know, Peter. You should have probably researched that yourself, given I don't have a clue about anything. So, look, it's going to be on some form of RSN. It's going to be race by race. It's me, Gator, and Gareth Hall. I think there's another person as well. Might be Sharky, top of my head. But I'm excited about it. Work with a few professionals for a change would be good.
Oh, thanks to us. Look, just while you're on talking about yourself, saw an ad for the WATAB earlier this evening as we're watching a whole heap of dogs run around in a circle. And WA, the TAB, has acquired a Jack Dickens. The ad actually.
What do you mean?
Well, there's a bit of the ad where there's an old mate sitting at the bar and he's like, I think he's at a bar anyway. I wasn't really paying attention. It's an ad. And he's like looking at the phone. He's watching the races on his phone. And instead of doing something else, he's just celebrating a winner. And it says, "You do you, Todd." Jay Dickens. First snick. Now you do you. What have you got next? What's the next catchphrase going to be?
I've had enough. I'm tapping out. No, that tapping out's a Glenstar tagline, and well done to the Ramp boys. Kells, I think they started with about 50 or 60 grand and finished with about 100 today. Betting pretty wide too, so big effort.
Huge. I think they ended up with 100,000, and they blasted anywhere from 6,000 to 10,000 on favourites all around the country, and huge effort.
Bloody outstanding. Good gear, that. Show and tell news of the week. Just to hand, Hugh Bowman has appealed his suspension and has gotten off. Is no one surprised, surely?
What? Which one? The Farnan one?
Yeah.
So what did 3 weeks turn into?
His apples.
See what I did there?
Oh.
No one's surprised, surely.
Oh, well,
What changed?
who gives a shit? Like, it's just they're their own. They just run by their own rules. They appease the sound early on, and then they just take him into the back room and say, "Don't worry, we'll look after you here. We'll cut this at appeal." But probably didn't warrant the suspension anyway. But
I thought 3 weeks was harsh, but
well, I'm just thankful that Hugh can ride in the big races again this week and next week, or whatever it is.
Well, it will give more time for him to get things boxed in and get done by a nose, I'm sure. Meanwhile, other news, Queensland horses will now have to officially trial versus just having a jump out before they debut. Curls, what's your thoughts?
This could be bad news for a bit of...
Queensland stewards are going to make horses have an official trial before they race, right? This is the same stewarding mob that couldn't be asked writing the shoe report out and putting it on the internet for punters to access whether horses wore heavy shoes or race plates in their trials. So it sort of makes the trials irrelevant anyway to punters, and they've put this out under the guise of this is to help punters in Queensland. I'll help punters in Queensland. I'll tell you what's going to win the 2-year-old races that don't have a barrier trial. And we've got one this Saturday that we'll talk about a bit later on.
Josh Peterman. Good question from Josh here.
Who watches Queensland trials anyway? Apart from me.
I wouldn't know where they are.
No.
Actually, yeah, I would. But no. I don't. Why would anyone watch anything in Queensland other than the races you've told us to bet into?
Makes sense.
And while we're plugging punting form at the start, you boys have seen it, and Curls have seen it this week. The Sugar Man, Shane Baker. We might have to get a statue, put it maybe like a portrait up on the wall there or something. Dad, he is God. Him and Heath have been just on fire this week. They are the punting form people. It's the greatest tool there is. It's proof that the tool's outstanding.
Absolutely.
How good their betting is.
We might have to get them on the show.
I think so. I found a great insight just to see how they operate. Obviously, not only look after the database for punters, but see them put that data into use on the punt. It's been an interesting watch the last few days. Very good at it.
All right, let's rip in to the big one, the Group 1 Moir Stakes at the Valley, 1,000 metres, Friday nights.
What race is that? Is that race 7?
It is race 7 at Moonee Valley, 1,000 metres. The market will go up first synthetic hold, best available odds as of 5 p.m. tonight.
Have you pinched my speed map, have you?
Yes, I have. This is
so
Jack Dickens' speed map.
I thought even Haydock and Bella Nipotina could try and roll forward, but I think Fresh they won't because it's so much speed here. I reckon Mooney Valley is going to favour the on-speed horses, midfield or better. But, geez, you can sort of make a case to back anything here with the tempo that looks like there's going to be on paper. Particularly when I think trekking you have to avoid because it's barrier 2 and going to be worse in midfield. So it's going to have to sort of, the C's are going to need to part or it's going to sneak and circle. I think Hanseatic can bold start and even Brooklyn Hustle if it's still running. Is it?
It's still stuck back there with Superstorm.
Well, it's not. It's nommed on Saturday too. There's a bunch of double nom that sucks. Yeah. But I think Hanseatic and Bolt Start, 2 horses that were very good last start, which will be suited by the good tempo, and you can just see one of them getting that good run, that good slingshot run off the camber there. As to the rest of them, like I thought, I was interested to see what you would think, Pete. Like, I can't believe that Pete Nucky is riding Fabagino. Well, it's a no bet for me. Has he ridden the Valley before?
Probably not, but I wouldn't.
Has he ridden in a Group 1? Has he ridden in a Group 1 before? A proper one? Not one in Perth?
Come on. Let's settle down. Nux is...
Like, seriously, it's like, here you go, guys. You've got a shot at glory. They've legitimately handicapped themselves. I can't get over it.
Have a look at the rest of the jocks in the race. Like, they're talking about Pippi leading. Pippi's got Damien Lane on board. He's not exactly a go forward, handlebars down sort of jock. Nux is just going to sit there.
It's got 56.5 kilos. Damien Olive hasn't got a ride.
Yeah. But, I mean, you talk about Nux. He just has to push the button. She'll be able to jump, take her time coming across from 7. She can go as fast as she wants in the early part of the race. It's pretty much one-dimensional. He's not exactly going to be snicking for cover or something creative. Just he knows the horse probably better than anyone.
Unbelievable. This is going to be a proper tactical race, this. He's going to have Jungle Edge outside him. She's just going to be told to go forward. Pippi's going to go forward. He'll snick. What odds do you give me he snicks?
0.
No.
He will not snick. There is no chance he's snicking.
Okay, good. If he snicks, you got to do next week's show live with your top off.
Fine.
I just remember this is live. I can start to corner you a little bit, can't I?
Oh.
Pete used to, like, before we started getting help with these shows, Pete was the editor all the time, so he could always cut out the good gear I felt I produced, and that now can't happen. Anyway, I think Pippi will go better than Fabagino. I reckon Bella will get crossed. Ashla will get crossed. I reckon Diamond Effort's going to get a really good run from 5. I think Diamond Effort's back and it's going to get a good run. I think Hanseatic's the most responsible way to wager into this race. Then either Bold Star or Diamond Effort. I don't trust Pete, whatever his name is, Nucky. I don't trust him. Don't know him. Certainly don't want to get involved. Jungle Edge, if it pisses with rain, we know the story, but I still don't want to be with it either. Pippi's the one of the 3 sort of rock hard leaders that interest me the most, but I think Hanseatic from Diamond Effort and Bold Star.
What about Bella Vella? Won the McEwen last start.
Yeah, I think she's going to get coffined.
You reckon?
Yeah. A great ride last start, outstanding ride, Jamie Carr. Was she going to kick up and hold out? Who's going to lead the race?
Bella Vella from Fabagino. They'll come across. Damien Lane doesn't have
Pippi's faster than those two.
But Damien Lane doesn't have enough intent to ride Pippi properly. How often do you see him lead in a fast tempo race? He just never does it. He's just too cool. He's just like...
I think Peter Nucky won the Heroin Award, whatever we're calling it.
The Valium Award?
Yeah, the Valium Award.
Yeah. So did Lane.
You want me to do the show with my shirt off if Brooklyn Hustle wins?
Well, you are the one of the 3 here that have a fitness regime currently underway. Pete does do 2 hours on the 10 every night, but I don't know.
Oh, I'm looking for that Jesus on the cross, like ripped look, that real sort of, was that from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? Anyway, shout out to Dennis Reynolds. So to summarise, you're with Hanseatic, I'm with Bella Vella and Fabagino. And Curls, do you have anything?
I actually had a couple of little plays when there was the rumours quickly circling around Twitter about that fast horse coming out of Aquis.
Anders.
So when it come out, I had a couple of little sneaky bets. Bella Vella and Diamond Effort. I don't think I've shopped that well, to be honest. Bella Vella drawn one's probably, I reckon they'll be against it as we get closer to jump time, thinking it'll be crossed in the coffin. And
particularly if we get this 15 mils, 10 mils, 8 mils of rain, this is race 7. Lane's the chance of not being any good. That's why I like the run that Diamond Effort's going to handle any sort of going. And just going to get that bomb-proof run from barrier 5. We've seen its figures. We talked about it on the deep dive. It's relentlessly running big, fat figures. And it's going to get that good run off good speed. It doesn't have to think. Like, it can't lead, but it can sit right on the lead.
Yeah.
I think it's going to get run a race, Diamond Effort, and I think Hanseatic could have its back.
A few people asking about Fabergino in the wet. I would basically say I don't think it's going to be wet enough to be making too much of a difference. I couldn't imagine Moonee Valley getting to like a soft 7, heavy 8 or anything like that. So in which case it doesn't matter. That track.
Alistair McCook makes a good point too. Bella Vella just beat Ashlaw with SP 60s. That's very good. That's a good point, Alistair. I'm with him.
All right. Let's jump to Caulfield Race 7, the Group 2000 Guineas Prelude over 1,400 metres. The market will go up first, followed by the J. Dickens Speed Map. Dicko, first impressions, Caulfield Race 7?
Mate, I've got to get the speed map up and things. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah. I guess I'll put Night Raid leading. I don't think it will lead. I think it might lead. I think Love Sensation might roll forward. I think Let's Be Glam rolls forward. River Knight be positive. I wouldn't be surprised if Mozzie Monster kicked up to midfield or better. On the back up, it's got to be right in this race. I think there's a lot of weak ponies here. Personal from 1, don't like. I can't sort of. I think this Instant Celebrity is like a really good horse and a bet. And when I sat down on Wednesday when I was doing this form, I thought, yuck. Isn't it from Adelaide or something?
It is from Adelaide. What's wrong with Adelaide?
It's not for me. Adelaide form is not for me. It's not really that good. I know the G-Trial and Behemoth are good. There's 2. Oh. Anyway, this horse was enormous last start. Its figures are outstanding. The way I read races and punch the shit in, it's the horse here by a mile.
Yeah.
Mozzie Monster, if we were a tipping joint, it'd be in the numbers. You know, it'd be like in my first 4. And Love Sensation, I don't know. I don't even know what the odds are actually for any of these horses. But Love Sensation did a little bit last start to suggest it might have some ability. I don't mind the barrier draw. I don't mind 9. I'd rather be wide than the fence, which I think might undo Mozzie Monster. But Instant Celebrity, I've got it last. I still think it probably wins. It just looks the most progressive. This is a race where you genuinely do want to find that sort of progressive horse that's going to improve. Yeah, it looks like the one to me.
Yeah, we'll just see if we
only thing that beats it's maybe a severely biased track, which Caulfield can throw up.
Yeah, I think that's the best point here. But I mean, if we can just get the replay up of Instant Celebrity from the last start at Morfordville, like just the splits going through the line, strong, even its debut performance, like that figure, the overall figure it posted on the Punting Form data is just phenomenal for this sort of race. 7.8. Above the all-average benchmark, and that's in a weak race in Adelaide. It still managed to come out and just completely obliterate that clock. And as you said, as long as they can make ground on the day, I'd say that $3 will shorten right in, and it could go right off. Night Raid obviously has done some decent stuff, being able to put itself on speed, but the rest of them probably need the right run to be figuring, and they would need a bit of bad luck.
I hadn't watched this replay. It's a big win, isn't it?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And you have a look at the splits going through the line. Strong, gives every impression that it will appreciate up to a mile. So if you really like it, don't forget to back it in 1,000 guineas. I think it was still $6 when we were on with G Hall on Tuesday to do the crystal ball, and here it is, $3 for Saturday.
And also, Baba, not good, not bad on YouTube. I'm not ignoring. We didn't ignore Trekking. I just think Trekking drawn 2 at the price, probably going to get a worse run, probably the worst run of the race. It gets flushed out the back of the surf. The rail might sort of chop out by then. Just think at the price, it's unders.
All right, let's go up to Curly Country. We'll start with race 7, the Toowoomba Cup over 2,000 metres. Curls, it's your day. It's Toowoomba. It's on a Saturday. It's a Metro card. Let's have a look at the market. What's happening?
A little bit happening. Well, there's actually not a lot happening on the Cup. Yeah, this is an interesting race here. In Your Element sneaks into the field. It's a 62 rater. So it probably doesn't, it says a little bit about, how skinny this race sort of is. But in saying that, there's a number of horses that are all around about the mark. There's a few of these that come through the same form line, through the same race. We'll have a look at that race from a couple of weeks ago. You've got Elward fighting T.O. Sir Barnabas, Roma Cash, Ruby Guru, a fair few of these coming through that same race. I think this race produces the winner. I'll quickly rip through my theory here. I think the best winning chances in the race are 2 Elward. Like, he doesn't... It's been a while between drinks for him, but he's trained by the best in the galaxy in Chris Waller. He's got Luke Dittman on it. We know that's a profitable combination. We've taken advantage of that plenty of times recently. Mm-hmm. He's got gate 2, so he does get an economical trip. 2 back, was a bob of the head. He could have easily won the race. Last start, he sat 3 deep in that race, and the few of these that come through. If you watch that race, he's 3 deep. When they dash, the leaders sort of run away from him a little bit, and then he sort of does continue to pick himself up and find the line. I thought he ran really well. I think he gets a lot better trip here. Fighting T.O. comes out of that race. I think it's on speed, and I just think they'll go along a bit too quick for it. Sir Barnabas comes through that same race as Elward. It's probably going to it'll settle a fair way back off Elward here, but he was held up for the best part of the 200 metres, first part of the straight. When he got clear, he had to go back to the inside, and I thought he ran well. And Roma Cash is the grey horse out of that race, who was back and really trucking up behind them coming to the corner. Now, Roma Cash and Sir Barnabas did dash and get up inside Allward and put a margin on it, but Allward was fighting back on the line after sitting wide. So I think they're the 3. I'll probably likely bet around those 3 to make a profit on the race. I have to have a bit of disclosure here. Factory Warrior is a horse that I've got a share in. So I'll be cheering for him. Bit of sentimental value. There's the one in the market that I think is way too short is Beige and Gold. It hadn't won for 2 years before it broke through at the Gold Coast in restricted grade a couple of weeks ago, and then last Saturday it won that staying event at the coast. So it gets here obviously rock hard fit and no weight with Andrew Malian, but I just think it's way too short at the current quote at 550. And I really do anticipate Allwood shortening a bit and Roma Cash shortening a bit as well. And the speed's going to suit those. So sort of working around 2, 4, 6 this stage.
All right. Very good. And then I guess the feature is the Toowoomba Weetwood. Mm-hmm. Am I saying that right? The Weetwood. Weetwood. Over 1,200. Market will come up first, and then your speed map. All right, girls, run us through the Weetwood.
This is it looks like a very strong tempo here on paper. There's a number of horses that'll be on speed. So again, a few of these leading chances come through the same sort of race where the Odyssey was able to lead and win last start. So that was like Flat Track Doom and 1100. it led in. It's probably fine. It probably will try and find the fence, obviously, but Boom Sarah's got really good speed. Mr. Marvelous from the inside gate is also a horse that's got good speed. Then you've got Master Jamie, who's quick and got no weight and will obviously push forward. So there's a number of horses, you know, that can be on speed here. And the Toowoomba 1200 is certainly not your standard sort of 1200 metre flat track. It's, you know, it's undulating. They come up the hill and it's just not it's more like a 1350 sort of thing, you know, the way that the races are run. So with the speed on, I'm sort of looking towards a couple of horses that are going to sort of get back and run on a bit.
Is one of them Bandipur?
One of them is Bandipur.
I remember we talked about it on the deep dive, and you liked it late, and what everything you said then says it's going to get the right run here.
He did. Look, he'll go back, obviously, but look, he ran the fastest last 200 in that Odyssey race. That
Just stormed up the fence.
Just Storm was up the fence. Alligator Blood was wide. You know, Bandipur was. Look, they just went at a steady fraction early, and that was race over. You couldn't make ground from the back once they did that. So I don't think the Odyssey is going to get that luxury here. So Bandipur is definitely one. It'll be I've gone down and had a little tickle on it already. I think it's a horse you can be on. The sentimental favourite for me, and a horse that can definitely win, is number 6, Love You Lucy. Now, Barry Square trains this horse. I think I'm not exaggerating here. I'm pretty sure Barry's about 81 years old and only give up riding track work this year when he fell off and hurt his shoulder, or earlier in the year.
This is a horse with another huge turn of foot, isn't it?
Huge turn.
It won race 9 at Eagle Farm 2 or 3 months ago for us at 14s.
Yeah, won the Group 2 Dane Ripper in mare's grade. Now, Ronnie Goltz is a Toowoomba legend. Now, I'm not going to say Ronnie's 80, but he's definitely one of the more senior jockeys in Queensland. Now, he takes the ride. So this is the horse that's attracted the local money. They went up $15 this. Now, going up $15 for about a Group 2 winner in a listed race is silly odds anyway, but I think a few locals have latched on here. And it's in the 750 around the place. So if you're watching at home and you've got a Top Sport account, if you haven't, you should, and you could probably gobble up some of that 950. I think it'll start a lot shorter than that as well. It's another one that gets in the right spot. One other horse that I think has certainly got the figures, it's got the ability, is number 13, Red Chase. It's going to be another one that's just going to tuck in behind, down on the minimum. A couple of its wins, at the back end of its preparation, were really strong 1,400 metre victories, and that's the sort of profile of the horse that I'm looking for here off this hot tempo. So it's another one. It's around that $9 mark. It's another horse that is certainly worth looking at.
Outstanding.
With the tempo. Now there's a little bit to play out yet. There's 32-kilometre winds forecast for Saturday at Toowoomba, which is going to be pretty nasty. So we'll have to wait and see. It's a southwesterly.
How hot is it up there now?
How hot?
Yeah. What sort of temperatures are you getting in the daytime?
In the office, it's 21. It's mid-20s outside. It's sunny. It's there's not going to be much moisture around, that's for sure.
It was 10 degrees this morning, about 7:30. Yeah, 10 and windy. Bit of wind chill.
Yeah. Another horse in the race, tricky gate, but will probably go back. And I think that the jock will offset. People that follow me on Twitter know that I talk about Bailey Noda for a fair bit.
I see he's riding one in race 2 there.
He's the best. Like he's on Snitch in this race. So Snitch has had that 1,400 metre run. It's won at this level. Won the Newmarket at the Gold Coast last prep. He's another one that's going to sort of go back and get cover and will be strong late. He had a 1,400 metre run last go and then went back to the trials and tried really well. So yeah, he's another one that's in the mix as well, and he's a big price also. He's around that $15, $17 mark. So all the ones that are in the market are the ones up on, that sort of map to be on speed, and I think we'll find some value in the winner here.
All right, very good. Overall, the Toowoomba meeting, can you get us excited? Is there a bit of fat there to play with? Are we going to be plunging? Are we going to be stinging, rorting?
Well, it is Toowoomba, so I think punters will be disappointed if there's not a rort. And I'll try and guide our blokes and our guys to be on the right side of that. There's probably one in race 5.
Sorry, Curly, but if you did fill up last week on his sting, which you should have, do the right thing. Spend $39 or $29 and support him and support us and keep financing this joint. Keep it afloat. Get on board and bet with Curly all weekend. Where are you betting this weekend? Gold
Coast at the Provincials. There's a sting tomorrow night at the Sunny Coast, and obviously Toowoomba is the main one. But there's a good one in race 5. The stewards spoke about the 2-year-olds have to trial. Do your own research and have a look at race 5. There's one horse that's been $8 into $6.
There's 3 of them on $6 on my dynamic here.
So there's 11 horses in the race and 10 of trial.
Alert and ready for Kempy. You're a big Kempy man.
Yeah, don't mind Kempy. Good fella, Kempy. No, look, there was a little bit of money there. There's a little bit of a sniff around. It's been well hidden, hasn't trialled. Everything else has. So we don't need to change the rules here. Surely, just let the boys bet.
The market will tell you.
Yeah, always. Give it. No, look, there's plenty happening. There's plenty happening. There's a few tomorrow night as well. So there's plenty happening over the next 3 days, wagering wise in Queensland. That's for sure.
Outstanding. Yeah, exciting stuff. Speaking of exciting, they've renamed the birthday stakes in Perth to the Black Heart Bart Stakes. Old buddy.
I think just on Black Heart Bart, was it this day, like this Saturday last year, when we backed him at 120s?
Yeah.
And he won the Underwood?
Yeah.
Remember, and Ross Salt Brody you should have seen it, girls. Just jumped up, knocked the table and the computer everywhere, just jumped up and sausage rolls. Remember? Oh, fuck.
Oh, bless
Aussie sausage, little party sausage rolls. Not sweet.
The things I'd do to have one of those sausage rolls at the moment. Anyway, what can you do?
He died, didn't he, Black Heart Bart? Did he die? The horse?
No, what? Did he?
I don't know.
It's really embarrassing, isn't it? We don't even know.
If it did, and it should
be
embarrassing.
I should know. It's from Perth. I thought Bart was going to lead them around, but I don't know. I thought I read that on Twitter, and that's about as reliable as.
Once a horse retires, I'm just of the opinion that that's one less horse you got to do the form on, and quickly forget.
Yeah, I know. We've done 8 or 9 races at Flemington, 9 races at Sale. I've done all the races at Moonee Valley and Caulfield. I don't know if he's alive or not alive. Who really cares?
Sorry for questions without notice.
I'm going to assume he's alive, and I'll back him in. I'll back him in to lead the field around there on Saturday at his own race. The market will go up. The speed map will go up. Wowee, there's form lines coming from everywhere. It's an absolutely mad race. And as a result, I've got the shortest horse in the market at $5.90, and that is Vital Silver, who has raced over here a fair bit, Dickens. You might remember him running around in some of the Group 1 at Moonee Valley, whichever race that was. Was it the William Reid? I think he ran second. Anyway.
And he probably should have won.
Yeah, it was wide.
I remember it. And he flew home.
Yeah. I think Mellon was riding it from memory. Anyway, really strong race. Difficult to get a handle on some of these different form lines. I think the map's probably going to be key, though, in terms of where some of these are going to get to in run. Massimo, pretty confident that horse will be able to lead, and with Flower of War will probably be used up early. The queries are horses like Free Trade, Red Can Man. Typically, with the Wolf stable, wide barriers mean they go back, but Red Can Man has been settling the first 3 or 4 runners, but it'll just need a gun ride from shooting early to get it into the spot. Then that gives just unknowns to Free Trade, Dance Music. They're sort of stuck out there in limbo a little bit. I think Narodio and Vital Silver get the best runs here. Narodio is a horse that we've had some good success with of late, and I think the double figure quite available. I think that horse is inclined to start a fair bit shorter, and that's the way that I've got it marked close towards that sort of 850 mark. So Narodio at the moment is the value in the race, and looking at a horse way like massive odds. It's despised outsider here, but Unitime I think is returned in decent enough order this prep. It's currently 80 to 1. I'm just recommending a very, very small bet on Unitime at those odds. I might be going 1 or 2 runs too soon, but the horse was no good last preparation, but that trial just showed a few little things that I like to see.
Say $81.
Yeah, 80 to 1. I just want to see it go up. I want to see it like just come into 30 or 40 or something just now and see what happens.
What was it?
Unitime in race 8, $81 at the TAB.
I'm just backing it now. Hang on.
I've been watching.
Yes.
Oh, how good. Do you want to use the multiplier?
Yes.
Apparently the 26 is gone that thing in Toowoomba.
I'll just have a look.
This is Guineas.
Yeah, Bandifur's $19 everywhere now. 23 is the best.
Just live updates in the run.
Oh, come on, big fella.
Are you talking to the horse, or are you talking to?
Someone took the 950 of Love You Lucy on Toppy. That's excellent. Well done.
Good.
$9 is still there.
I'm actually just amazed that the tab's got markets open for Belmont on a Saturday. That's quite unusual.
I might stop it now.
Well, here's hoping. Look, you can't really knock any other horse in this race. I think everyone will have an opinion. If you like Red Can Man, it's probably just got a slightly sticky gait. Thought it might have been a bit longer than what it currently is. Free Trade will have admirers. It's a strong horse. Blew him apart last start. This is definitely a tougher field. Vital Silver seems to map incredibly well. That's, for me, the scariest horse. And if I got, $5 or so, it's certainly a horse that you could contemplate playing as well. But at this stage, Narodio, Unitime, something between both of those in the Bart. Bloody wonderful race. Outstanding. Well done, WA.
Is Jade McNaught the best rider in Perth right now?
I think at the moment, I would say that Clint Johnston Porter is still hooning since we talked about him previously, but him and Chris Parnham have really sort of just taken their opportunity without Pike there and just trying to scoot away from him at this early stage. So, I think they're the two to beat at the moment.
Missed the 81s.
What's it into?
What does he mean? What does he mean? He's talking about no horse.
What about that bloke that rides over in Perth? Roly Poly Ramoli. What's his name?
Lacta Ramoli.
Lacta, Liquid Amber. Liquid Amber, we call him.
He's going well.
He's a gun.
Yeah, he's a handy apprentice. We're sort of getting to that stage now where a few of the apprentices are just struggling to get to the next level. We're seeing a lot of them, as you quite often say, very capable on speed. But we saw with Maddie Derrick, who's been riding actually really well of late, Maddie, but she was on a horse called Bogart on Wednesday, and for the Cerise and White, it just ended up in a completely horrible position and never saw any sort of daylight. But I think that's probably just a little bit of the pressure that comes with the territory, isn't it? That's right. They all get better. All right, that's Belmont in a nutshell. It's almost near the end. We've also got a meeting on Monday. So if you want to do a bit of Monday betting, I'll be doing that straight after the deep dive and the Sydney Review. We'll be straight into a bit of Belmont on a Monday. Just bloody wonderful. Stings. Do we have a sting? Besides throwing things out at 80 to 1, and they'll probably start 120 on the fair, but that's okay. Any other stings, plunges, rorts that we want to have on the show?
I can.
I just got asked about Well, you go, Kels.
I've got a rort warning. Robbie Farah didn't pick up a ride at the Metropolitan meeting in Queensland this Saturday. He's going to the Gold Coast. He's riding at the Gold Coast at the Provincials. There's no markets there yet, but we will be watching that with great interest.
How many rides does he have?
I noticed like one or two so far. It'll be interesting.
You'd love it if he's going, just for like one or two rides. You can just go, right.
No, he's got a few there. We'll just let the market do the talking there, and there's potential. There's a potential sting there Saturday afternoon, I reckon.
I'll just quickly talk about the Underwood. I think the market's like close to spot on. I think Sosie Bonds maybe like you could back it at $26 if you can get on, but the market's just about right. Like, what do you think of Arcadia Queen?
Tigsy actually sent a question about Arcadia Queen. What did I think of the track work at the Valley? And I thought, I mean, she's clearly still not quite 100%. The bar shoes are still on, aren't they? Or at least they haven't come off.
There's no gear changes listed at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, she would have to be.
You could definitely see though, like that's sort of shit that happens in the sport.
Yeah.
They come off Saturday morning. She's forced 80 into $3.
Yeah. I think she would have to be at her absolute best though. And there's probably a small query as to whether or not that's the case. Although that last start performance, I think, was clearly an indication that although she's still got issues, she's still pretty capable. But, you know, she's coming up against what could be, he could be anything, really.
I think she'll hold a price. He might get out to 220. Just to get the percentage out of the market. The Chosen One and Humidor will drift to north 20. And the other three, like Traffic Falls, if they back that, just listen. But they'll likely just blow the other three. I think Russian Camelot, you probably get 220. She'll hold. Mr. Quickie will hold. Hard Views drift a little bit, but Chosen One, Humidor drift a bit. Because Humidor was blessed and run, very good, but won at 20-1 last start for us.
Yeah.
So it's not going to sort of start much shorter than that. Like that was against Surprise Baby. This is against Russian Camelot. This is a better race.
So is this the race where he announces himself the best horse here?
Oh, I think this is the race where he kind of like, that stands. I think he stands himself as pretty good first up. Like he's coming off an SA Derby.
Yeah, but
I think the market says he's good.
For sure.
Look, I hope he wins because we backed him in the Cox Plate at $9 and also had a couple of little nibbles Cox Plate into the Melbourne Cup. So I just hope he wins and keeps ticking over.
All right. We've got a bit of news. You want to talk about the wide receiver, Jack Dickens, the wide receiver.
Oh, yeah. This is grouse. Mystery man, but like a proper judge. And we have got him on. He'll be delivering the grouse every Sunday afternoon. What time, Peter? About 6?
Yes.
NFL multis. NFL betting advice via the app. But lots of like tricky, just juicy, like sort of same game multis. He finds edges and angles. First the corporates, each other, like first this corporate and that corporate. He's lives and breathes the game, doesn't work, just bets on this, and he's very, very good at it. And anyone in the NFL is not that long every year. That's how good he is at it. So I'm really, really grateful to have him on board. Can't wait to pump it. We believe, and we'll have to adjust if we're wrong, but we think that you're going to be able to get on, like for reasonable amounts, but quite easily because the corporates want these sort of garbage multis because most of them are shit. But his are astute. So we're going to sell it real cheap and see how many we can get on and sort of push it hard and just see how he goes. But he's very, very, very good. $9.95, is it, Pete, or $9.99?
$9.99, yeah. If you want to buy a month, it's a bit cheaper.
$10 a week, you'll get 6 bets a weekend. If you're sick, I'm not this sick. I don't think Shane is. You can get up at 2 o'clock and watch it. Or you can just get up at 6 with your kid like I do and just start to put it on with the golf and ride a few home, see where you're at. But yeah, very excited to have him on. Going to be good.
All right, and that's live on the website only for now. So if you're interested, you got to head to themailbag.com.au and you'll see the wide receiver ready to go.
How good you can make money while you sleep.
It is good,
So good.
isn't it? But the best part is, like, especially for me, like as a horse punter, we don't have to get stuck into plus 14 points, $1.85. You can just have like smaller outlays as more of a victim sort of release for my gambling, but at the good prices. Well, we're wound up like coils all week, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I can't watch it. I can't watch the sport at all. But like, what's the point of watching sport if you're not betting on it? So now that we're betting on it, I might take a little bit more interest.
Yep.
Can't wait. And we've also got the AFL's entering its finals soon. Finals pack available from Cam Dean. It's just basically one purchase will get you all 4 of the finals weeks. So if you're interested in the last remaining bit of footy, jump on there as well. Best value lays. You guys want to throw out anything? Having a crack at this early stage?
Sorry, what did you say? I wasn't ignoring you. I was, but because I'm trying to read the comments. What did you say? Sorry.
Best value or lays?
No, I got none.
Okay, good.
Not yet. Buy my products. I'll bet all week, but I like Hanseatic, but I'm not even sure what price it is. I think it's like $13, isn't it?
Yeah, it is $13.
I'll toss one up if you like.
Good.
In the spirit of wagering. Sunshine Coast Race 5, number 14, I am swerving. That's exactly what I'm doing with that horse. I'm swerving it, I'm laying it, and I'm betting around it.
Oh, imagine if someone was real quick then and went back and banged it. Went bang.
And I have to admit here, just because I'm like sick, the prices went up for the Sunny Coast yesterday afternoon, and I'm just like, what do you call it? A bit of a confession session. I did go down and have a couple of little dirty all-ups for cash, and I threw race 4, number 9, We Own a Smart One, in all of them at $1.70 just to try and fatten it up because I'm sick.
You'll often ring curls on like a Thursday or a Friday and just hear this weird noise in the background.
We Own a Smart One is a DV, he's a David Van Dyke runner. And I think this horse was a cross between Black Caviar and Haylist when it won first up the other week. Sort of fits somewhere in between there on the data, and off the data, this dead set could start like $1.28. This horse, so I've thrown it in all the multis,
yeah,
or the little 6 cash multis.
Well, that's tomorrow night. Yeah, look, to throw out a bet now, I think I will bet all night tomorrow night if you get my stuff. Everyone's already on it who watches this probably, but I do like Hanseatic at, I think, $15 you can get on at Sportsbet, $3.65, and even Bold Star to win slightly less, but at $26, that's the wrong price for it too. Good race. You could probably get something at Diamond Effort. That'd be the 3 I'd back right now if I bet right now.
All right. We'll just run through a question from Tigsy. Do you boys take much notice from track/exhibition gallops? So when you see them on the TV, just cantering around 1 or 2 of them, do you take any notice of it?
No, I don't.
girls?
No, I was being polite last week when I was talking about Kisakano's track gallop because, it was good because it was a local horse at the local track. I have absolutely no interest in it. It's a complete waste of time. It's a race club promotion thing. It's not a form fucking thing for me.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
There's a question from Alex Pappas about the SA form and how strong you think it is. Will you be following it this spring, Peter?
I'd follow any form that's not Melbourne form.
Well, we backed Zofala today.
Yeah.
But that was a sale race against absolute numbers. So it's not spring racing.
I've heard a few.
That Celestine was very good on Wednesday, but that was a pretty weak race too. There's obviously some strength to it, and when you get the punting form, if you've got punting form, you can see the horses that sort of deserve to come here and compete. Yeah. And we were just blessed today, completely blessed. The goat hurt. I shouldn't say that.
I just to help you out there, Dicko. Look, I think it's an arrogant approach if you have a blanket rule across form from states, from whether it be South Australia to Queensland, whatever. I think you just got to assess it on their merits.
So I thought that Zofala had a really nice platform to get through the line nicely today, and would probably close off better than anything in that race. I thought they've all done the last 2 or 3 starts. That's why I like that horse. Doesn't matter if it did that to me at Morphettville, Bendigo, Randwick, or Hawkesbury.
How'd the well-tried favourite go?
Should have led. Shouldn't it? There ain't a chance he did.
Yeah.
We've got another question from William Sullivan. Boys, how long does residual fitness last? Curls, you're the only one exercising at the moment. You want to handle this?
Yep. One of the great unmeasurables that it's a term that you use to talk yourself into a bet. I have a few rules around residual fitness. If a horse has had more than 32 days between runs and hasn't had a barrier trial or a jump out, I'm more against than for. And there's got to be some really good examples of that horse being able to produce off that setup previous in its lifetime.
Does
that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. But I think that's something where most sort of pros would have different ideas.
Each to their own.
Yeah.
If I see a horse that's had 40 days between runs and no trial and no jump out, and it hasn't shown anything in the past off that setup, I can't find a tick for it.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I bet you there'll be a lot of people who be heaps of different angles with that. Like in Victoria, there's certain yards that are better at the big layoff than the big.
Oh, for sure.
Not a big layoff, but the 30 days for some yards is good. 30 days for other 8 yards is awful.
You'll have to preface all my answers with Queensland train on. I do Queensland form.
Yeah.
So outside of Waller, every Queensland trainer is the bulk of their horses are cutest Queensland bred 2 and 3 year olds up and going to win cutest prize money. So that's how the bulk of them train. So that's how I approach Queensland anyway.
Yeah, I think
good question, but great question.
When you've got the platform like you're saying, I think you're spot on. I just mean what if it's first prep, the horse hasn't shown yet it can or it can't. I'd sort of more be looking at the stable. Is it a stable that can sort of freshen them up and then win off it? Or is it a stable that just doesn't do that?
Well, some stables can produce them at a mile and win. Some first up, they can produce them at 2,000 and win first up. Lloyd Williams is the best trainer. The person that Lloyd employs to be the trainer is the best at it. You see it regularly.
It'd be an interesting conversation with him and Danny O'Brien, wouldn't it?
Unbelievably good.
We've got a question from Matt Baird as well. MIA from the small, what do you call them? What's the technical word? Avian. You're missing from the small avian broadcast, Jack Dickens.
Oh, yeah. I just stopped enjoying it, and I don't have any time. Well, it was on a Wednesday morning. It moved from a Thursday, and like I've got a kid up at 6. Then I'll be driving in there. There's 3 or 4 hours home on the radio with Gareth. Form for Wednesday, like tidy up the scratchings. I really like to sit down from about 8:15 and go through my work again. I've done most of the work the night before, do the scratchings and sort of clarify in my head what the decisions I want to make at 9 o'clock, and sort of got in the way of that. And a Wednesday is just a huge day for me now. So I've punched through the form for Moonee Valley and Caulfield in between races, just about on Wednesday and through to Wednesday night. So I'd stopped enjoying it and didn't want to do it.
All right. Jonathan Walsh has suggested that Hanseatic is the best value of the weekend. Jay Walsh, there he is.
Where is he?
On Facebook. He
would be a Facebook man, the Wish.
He stalks.
We plan on having the Wish on often. We just sort of want to, we spoke to him at length today. Just thought we'd get the format spot on before we let him loose live. Thought with him, me and Curly, Jonathan and I have already at the front of the stewards once for this show. If we had to do it live, would be favourite.
Yep. Christian White says, Curls, thoughts on the Queensland runners in Sydney this weekend? Tyzone, Nicanova, Rothfire.
The Brisbane Racing Club are holding a phantom race day today in the celebration of Rothfire's upcoming Group 1 victory on the weekend. So they're going to pack into the Brisbane Racing Club there. I'm not sure that's Doomben or Eagle Farm, but they're having a phantom meeting to cheer home Rothfire. So that'll be great. I think he's $1.95, Rothfire, yep. Isn't he? Like, he's definitely into the tomato sauce sort of area.
Say the question from Josh Steen.
Hang on, one sec. I'm just double checking here because I did have a look at. I think Queensland's best horses in Sydney at the moment is Vanna Girl. I thought her first run in Sydney was like sensational, and I think she's a really good chance to win a nice race down there. So. Rothfire's proven that he can measure up. I think he'll win Saturday, but you don't have to be a genius to work that out at the price.
Are you pretty excited for it? Are you excited to cheer home the Queenslanders on Saturday?
But God, it was running until you asked that question, Pistol.
Yeah.
No, I didn't really. It's just I'm just that focused. There's that many meetings in Queensland on a Friday and Saturday that I wager in. I sort of forget what's going on outside of my own little bubble. So okay. I think Rothfire will should just win. It's just proven last week that it can do it at both ends, and it should just win. And obviously, he's our best chance.
Dicko, Josh Steen.
Josh, I know you're watching. So I'll bet you, but I'll 2 slabs to 1, given it's half the price. Comment if you accept that. That's fair. It's Pippi. He wants Pippi. I'll take Hanseatic. Pippi's $7, $7.50. Hanseatic's $15. So that's fair, is it not? 2 to 1.
Well, look, I'll just point out that if both horses neglect to finish in the prize money, technically it's a nothing.
And then again,
that was DK, wasn't it?
How sick.
It was DK for those who didn't. Josh Steen's just agreed to it, so that's outstanding. But if those who missed out, DK, our friend of the show, Dan Kelly, had a bet in the head-to-head markets on Betfair, and neither horse finished in the top 10, so there was no prize money allocated to either runner. He got the bet right, but because neither horse won any prize money, the bet's voided under Racing Victoria's current rules and regulations, which is pretty bewildering, to be honest.
Well, yeah.
Under the guise of integrity, because if a horse is outside of the top 10, the jockey's not obliged to be as aggressive on the horse through the line to win prize money. That's sort of how I read it.
Are they like the jockeys in run, like going, oh shit, I've got like 8, 9, 10 in front of me. I'm out
Well, that's how I read the reply from Betfair to DK's tweet.
No, but it's false. If it's head to head, it's head to head. If it's head to head, it must finish top 10. Like it's
once I read DK's tweet and got through the 17 vomit emojis that he used to describe how he was feeling. It was that's a very sick beat. Very stiff.
Oh. But even though they cancelled the contract because we called out that there's people that coincided with them turning on the in-play markets from home that seem to have a proper edge in play, and so you should be very, very careful betting in the last 400 metres of a race. Though they didn't address it, they actually sort of did, because they slowed down the markets this week. If you notice at Caulfield, they were a lot slower, which the effect that then has on the market is that, like, if you're us and you're on the Manning Out Mail on Wednesday and you've actually Charlotte in the last, missed the start, all the smarts with the fast feed that you don't have at home gapped it, and we beat the tote by about 35% because they lay it when it's still not in run on the market, but it is in run if you're there, or if you can see it faster than everyone else. So that was a good result.
It was the opposite of Zero Doubt a few weeks ago.
Oh, didn't that go off?
Yep. Well, it was
even though they've got the fast feed, like that was still a big bunch. Like someone loved that horse. It was like we were there, and we weren't there.
Yeah.
Look, I speak to a fair few blokes that do it. I was at Bow Desert on Tuesday doing my complete bollocks. There was a number of people. There's a few there betting in the run. We were allowed on track in Queensland. Just the general conversation of and people that do it are saying it. So it's real. It's happening exactly. And I have had a few comments of people saying it's exactly what Dicko said. Is what's happening. So anyway, there was a bit of a change this week. That was discussed also.
Okay.
Do you agree? Do you agree there was?
100%.
Yeah, same.
We'll just touch on one more question, Riley Simmons, and it ties into Alistair McCook. Mystic Journey, is she gone, or has she still got some hope? In 1 or 2 words.
I think she's a bit of a champion. So I wouldn't lay her, but I would never dream of backing her. See, I think she's gone, but she's just got that little bit of champion about her that I think you won't get anything out of laying her at the price she'll be. So
someone smarter than me needs to have a look at the stats on this, but it seemed to me that Tassie would sneak over and win everything and then go home, and then all of a sudden it's dried up.
That's a fair point.
All right. Guys, it's been fun. We'll catch up next week. If you want to get on board, the mailbag.com.au, betting wherever you want to be betting. If you want to bet everywhere, just join in. We'll be betting Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Sure, we can find some at Tuesday as well if you really want to. But look forward to the NFL starting as well as soon as this weekend.
I can't wait for it. I really can't.
Yeah.
Bet while you sleep. You'll be able to watch them. If you're sick like the three of us, and you sort of Monday mornings is your data days, you're in the background, you won't even know who they are to start with, but you might sort of learn who they are, those blokes, and cheering for touchdowns and yards. Can't wait.
All right. Guys, a pleasure. Thank you. And thank you for joining us on the Mailbag Live. We'll catch you next Thursday. Until then, go well.